what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today, but the first story that I've got for you guys, a really sad one. So you guys might be familiar with Bostin Loyd, a little bit of a controversial internet bodybuilding personality over the past several years. He was well known for some of his extreme cycles and bodybuilding methods, but unfortunately it's being reported today that he passed away. Now, I looked at his Facebook, and what we knew was that he had kidney failure, apparently stage 5 kidney failure since October of 2020. And one of his last posts on his Facebook page was addressing that kidney failure and addressing the health issues that came with it. So that was like that was literally one of the last updates he posted. He talks about how his numbers are continuing to get worse, how he's taking things day by day, how bad his blood work has been, and he talks about the experience with the doctors and the insurance, and it sounds like he's just been going through a really rough time, especially recently based on these posts. So while there's no official cause of death yet, I've seen people saying a heart attack, but this is really the most health information that we've got from Bostin right here on his own Facebook page just 2 days ago. So rest in peace to Bostin Loyd, whether you loved him or hated him. It's never a good thing to lose somebody at 29 years old, especially somebody that's a father, a husband, he has a family. Regardless of the internet notoriety, I don't think anybody wanted to see this happen to him. So, moment of silence for Bostin Loyd. Now, next up in the news, the Arnold Classic. Arnold Classic news. It is true, the other guy that I was told was going to drop out at the Arnold Classic was Cedric McMillan. I'm seeing everybody report this now, despite the fact that we haven't heard official confirmation from Cedric. So, I saw this all over Instagram this morning, and I didn't know where it came out first at. And it says that on this Buys and Tries post that Milo Sarshev announced it on his recent appearance on Jay Cutler's Cutlercast. So it looks like the cat's out of the bag now. But yes, that is the guy that I had heard was going to be dropping out. But I was also told to wait until Cedric made the announcement himself. And looking around online now, I haven't seen anything from Cedric confirming this, but this was the name that I had heard as well. So I do believe this is true. And I was also told that physical health was the reason for this as well. So that lines up with the story that's going around on social media. So unfortunately, that was 2 guys that were in my top 5 predictions. I had Cedric in 6th and I had Akeem Williams in 5th. And both of them are now out. So let's look at the Arnold Classic updated list here. With all these dropouts, who's out? Rafael Brandao is out. Nathan Diasha is out. Cedric McMillan is now out. Muhammad Shaban is now out. And Akeem Williams is now out. 5 of those competitors now not competing at the Arnold Classic. I still hope that Cedric gets to give his own announcement and say the exact reason why, because I don't think exactly what's going on with his health or what's going on with his body has been precisely clarified by anybody yet, and I think that's for Cedric to do and not us. And look, I talked a lot about, after the Legion Sports Festival and after he didn't show up to the KO Pro Show, the Egypt show, I talked a lot about the potential of Cedric retiring in the near future, and a lot of people thought that's not going to happen. I think it looks like that might be the case. If Cedric is truly not doing the Arnold, this is the biggest show that he's pulled out of lately, and the 3rd show in a row that he has not completed that he said he would. So I'm definitely wishing the best for Cedric if he does choose to retire. I hope we all respect that decision. And hopefully at his own pace, he'll come out and talk about the reasons why and the health issues that he might be facing. But yes, to the people asking, Cedric was the name that I was told would also be dropping from the show. Now, next up in the news, the Iranian Hawk versus Martyn Ford, the Battle of the Giants. And if you don't know who the Iranian Hawk is, I'll show you guys a picture of him. He's known for these kind of strange pictures of his physique on Instagram. A lot of people think they're photoshopped. But him and Martyn Ford are scheduled to fight this spring, and they had their first real in-person confrontation where they laid hands on each other today. So I don't even know if anyone's really even invested in this fight at this point. I really don't know much about it. I know a lot less about this fight than I know about the Eddie versus Thor fight. And what we know about Eddie versus Thor is not really a whole lot. I mean, we know when and where and that it's going to be free. We don't know if there's going to be any other fights on the card, if there's going to be an undercard or not. We don't really know much about that. I really don't know almost anything about this fight, and I'm really not too interested in watching it. And to be completely honest, I don't even know why these two guys have beef, why they're fighting in the first place. But they're definitely two interesting social media characters. And I guess it'll be interesting to see them fight. I definitely don't think I'll be paying to see it. But the size difference between the two does look pretty intense. Martyn Ford, to me, looks a lot bigger than the Iranian Hawk, so that should make for an interesting fight, I guess. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you going to be watching this? Do you care at all, or is it of no consequence to you? Now, next up in the news, one of the most impressive physique updates that we've seen from Brett Wilkin so far at 1 week out from the 2022 Arnold Classic. Brett Wilkin is a lot of people's favorite underdog in this lineup. And like I said, we just talked about the fact that Cedric is out, Akeem is out, and a lot of people wanted me to have Brett in my top 6 predictions. That was my 5th and 6th place predictions, so now I really only have 4 guys that I'm predicting in this show to be top 6. I think now with both Cedric and Akeem out, it's pretty realistic that Brett is going to get a top 6 placing. I really think he is going to now. I still think Brandon is going to win the show. And I do want to clarify what I said in the last video, because I've seen people messaging me this. Maybe I worded it wrong. I'm not trying to bet you guys individually $100 that Brandon is going to win. What I was saying was, to whoever wins, if you beat Brandon, whoever that is that beats Brandon, I owe you $100. So, for example, if Brett beats Brandon, I would owe him $100, and I want you guys to come hold me accountable to send that person the $100. Say, remember, you said Brandon was going to win. You owe the guy that won $100. I'm not trying to individually bet each and every person that is betting against Brandon $100. But I bring that up here because Brett is a person that a lot of people are saying is going to be the upset at the show. A lot of people are saying Brett is going to be the guy that wins out of nowhere. And if that's the case, then Brett would be the guy that I'd be sending a $100 gift card or whatever he wants to. I'm just very confident that we're going to see Brandon win this show. But that being said, I think this is an extremely impressive physique update from Brett Wilkin. I think now, again, especially with those 2 guys being out, I think Brett is going to be a solid top 6 guy. Where he lands in that top 6, it's tough to say. And honestly, I heard there's a chance that one more name might drop from this list. It's not as certain as Cedric and Akeem were, but there might even be another guy that drops out of this lineup. And that could throw a further wrench into the equation. I don't know that for sure, but it's just another rumor I've heard. And so far, the rumors that I've heard have turned out to be true, so I guess we'll see. But Brett's looking good, man. I got to admit, he's looking really, really good. And like I said, I've never not been a fan of Brett. I'm a fan of Brett, so just because I didn't have him in my predictions doesn't mean I'm not a fan. It's going to be interesting to see how he stacks up in this lineup. Like I said, the only other time we've seen him against men's open guys was the Chicago Pro, where he took second to Hunter Labrada. This is really the first time that he gets to go toe-to-toe with a lot of these seasoned big names in the IFBB. So this is going to be a big show for him. But I think he's going to do pretty well here. So that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. A little bit of a shorter one, but really sad with the Bostin Loyd news. So rest in peace again to Bostin. Thoughts are with his friends and family. Thoughts are with Cedric McMillan as well. Pulling out of the Arnold, I'm sure, is not easy. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for the video, guys. Make sure you leave a like on it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. All that good stuff. As always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.